Alright, what is up, Static Gamers? This is just a little rudimentary video because somebody was asking, and the frying protection pan video guy hasn't got to it yet. I need to fix those. They're not supposed to spawn into the air. Neither of those. So this is a little map that I'm working on, and these guys were asking some questions about AI, and I'm going to show them right quick. So let me disable this. I do use a controller in Sapien. I think it's just much easier. But let me show you what I got working, because these guys and Wraiths are kind of an iffy, but I'm going to show you what I got going. So what I got here is two elites that spawn into a Wraith, and then they start moving. And what this Wraith does is it moves up to this location, and the idea is that while you're on this base wall, this guy's going to shoot on you. You know, like, oh no, I'm getting shot at. He sees me, yeah, see, and kaboom, and he'll combat you. And I've set up other things for this map, such as outside of the map, because I've got outside of the map wraiths, as you can see and hear, which they will be used to to add pressure later in this little mini mission that I am making once I've got the scripting set. But as you can see, the idea of them having them up here is to force the players back eventually. And this kind of idea. So how I made these wraiths up here stay still and that wraith move to what it is actually pretty simple. But let me show you something a little better. Let me erase all of these wraiths real quick. I'm going to do them manually. And I want to show you something that I've got going. So here's the ghost. I've got ghosts that spawn in, and here they are, and then they start zooming around. So a lot of people are wondering how the hell you get AI to have pathfinding like this, so they'll work. And it's pretty simple. So thanks to what's his name? I forgot his name. The Frying Pan Productions. Sorry that I forgot that temporarily. I had to go look. I was able to figure this out, and it's actually a lot easier than what people are making it out to be. So let me erase my squads here, and what we're going to do is we're going to go, this is assuming you understand what he's taught in the tutorial. So we're going to do essentially what he taught in the tutorial. We're going to go to the squad and create a new instance. I've got a squad here. For this instance, let's just say I want to do I'm going to do Mongoose for this one. I thought about doing the Pelican, but we're going to do the Mongoose. Choose your team. It really don't matter. But so this guy doesn't try to kill me, I'm going to do Human, right? I'm going to go to Fire Teams here, and I'm going to create new instance. So we have Mongoose Vehicle, and now we have our character tag that we're going to place here. You can decide whether you want to place it on certain difficulties here, have a different normal diff count. The normal diff count is going to be important. Basically, what this is like with the Wraith, if you had the count to 1, there are 2 seats in the Wraith. And what will happen is sometimes the AI will spawn in the driver's seat, but other times it'll spawn in the turret. So if it spawns just in the turret, your vehicle obviously won't move, and the AI will not get out to get into the vehicle seat. Now, yes, AIs, if they're programmed in the dot character on Gorilla, will get into vehicles, but you have to enable that. I'm not going to show that here. I do know how to do that, though. But in this case, I'm doing the Mongoose. It's got 2 seats, and what I want to do is make it 2 AI, so 2 seats. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have 2 Marines on there, and I'm going to create a Marine. So we're going to go to Character Type under Actor Defaults in the same Properties palette. And like I said, I'm going to do a Marine. So we're going to just click Normal Ass Marine, and its initial weapon. Let's see here. Do I got the rocket launcher? We're going to give him rocket launcher, and just for the lulz, we'll give him secondary of shotgun. Why not? Grenade types don't matter unless you want them to use the grenade type. So under here, you'll notice it'll say vehicle type. So you're going to come here and you're going to choose Mongoose, right? Plain and simple. All right, so you'll notice now if I come over here and I open this, go to starting points, and right click where I want to. And the reason why I use a controller, by the way, is because I'm on a laptop. Anyway, we're going to come over here. We're going to play squads. So now you'll notice, aha, AI, cool. they're my enemies, so if they notice me, he's gonna shoot at me, right? I set him to human instead of player, so he's gonna shoot at me, but that's okay. So yeah, he ended up killing me. So now we know the AI is functioning because I have the AI spawned in. But the problem is now this AI isn't moving. He ain't going anywhere. How do we get him to move? All right, so we're going to click this, and we're going to go over to zones. I'm going to highlight the zones folder, and we're going to create a completely new instance instead of assigning it to a zone. We got zone 16 here, and I'm going to go ahead and rename this to Mongoose Test for you guys. It doesn't matter if you have this set to deadlock or not. I usually just leave it as not. So we're going to go to firing positions, and we're going to set up where we want this mongoose to go. So like I did the ghost, I'm going to click here. I'm going to click here. I'm going to click up here. I'm going to go click down here once I can get to it. Then I'm going to go click here. Notice I'm making a circle. I'm going to click here. And then I'm going to add one final spot, like here, kind of close to the mongoose, so that we got a loop. All right, so we got our firing point set, just like we would with the normal AI. Here it is, and notice the mongoose is here. What you have to do now, highlight all of this in the element panel and Control N. I forgot the phonemic. N as in November, in case somebody can't understand my pronunciation. N as in November. And so what this is going to do is when you do this, notice it says areas 0. You can come over to here and there's area 0. Let's name this to Mongoose. You don't have to name it to Mongoose, but it's for me to understand what this area is. This is where the mongoose goes. Notice under area flags in the property balance underneath the name, we have tick upgraded, manual reference, turret preliminary, and vehicle area. And then we can again, manual reference frame. I leave that to none if you have options. You're going to click vehicle area. Cool. We've done that. We've got our zone set up. How do we know it's working? Well, first of all, you got to come over to Mongoose and you got to go to initial zone and set to Mongoose test. Now, once you've done that, you'll notice that these guys still aren't driving about. He ain't going anywhere. Why is that? That's because we need to make some changes. I'm going to go ahead and save, even though this is my actual scenario. And then we got to come over here, and we got to hit Reset Map. Once the zones and everything is assigned, you're going to reset your map. What this is going to do next is update it so that the AI will use the trigger. Now, this is assuming you already have the AI pathfinding set up, but keep in mind, if you don't have that, you'll need to go into Gorilla, select the map you're editing, and make sure you hit Enable Don't Strip Path Editing, and then generate all pathfinding data. Once you do that, the mongoose will definitely move afterwards, and the AI just won't stand still. So now, if I place the mongoose, there he goes. He's moving. He will run into objects, unfortunately, but he's going to drive all over those zones simply because I went to here and then did area and named it Mongoose. Click over here and checked vehicle area. Make sure you highlight the element. I will repeat, you need to highlight the element because if you just click areas and you do it here and you don't have it highlighted like this, I'll show you what I mean. You come here, notice it's not checked. I check it, I back up, and I go back here. Unchecks it. You have to highlight the area that you want to modify because if you don't do that, whether you saved or not, it'll uncheck it. And notice this guy is actually driving pretty smoothly here in a very nice circle. Like he's pretty much doing what I wanted him to do. He's going in order. He's going from point to point. Look at that. He even power slide there for a minute. Now, I don't understand why he keeps running into this barrier. That's probably an AI bug. And he decided to turn around. But yeah, no, this guy will even shoot at you, as you can see. And he will turn around and come chase me. So, like, I'm just shooting freely to give you an example of what's going on. Look, he killed me. Like, successful AI. Anyway, that's how you get the mongoose or any vehicle. Like, I could change this vehicle type if I wanted to. And there's different thing. Now, I'm going to go over one more thing for those who are curious about it. Mongoose Erase. So I've already got some Banshees set here, so it's the same jurisdictions, but Banshees, like aerial vehicles, they work a little different. So if we were to go into my wave infinite area and we look at the firing positions, you'll notice they're in the air. Normally you can only click and drag and you can't get these guys into the air. And they're all in the air. These are the firing positions that these set Covenant will use. Once they're there, they will travel to one of these set points or look at you and shoot at you from them. Generally, they will go to near or close to one of these fire points. Notice he went over there, turned around, now he's shooting at me. Same thing, this guy went over to that one, turned around, shoot at me. You need him in the sky because what's going to happen is if you don't put him in the sky, the Banshee's going to travel into the ground, turn around, and then try to shoot you. Or in some cases, what I noticed when I ran into it, they would just face plant into the ground and just sit there, making it easy for you to, eject. So I'm just going to create a new zone because we already have the AI. You set this the same way you would with the previous AI. I'm going to go ahead and create a new instance, and I'm just going to name this Do Not Save because I don't intend on saving it. Well, actually, I'll probably will save it. I'll delete this here. Better yet, I'll rename to delete later because this ain't going to be any useful. So firing positions. So you go through the firing position folders as if you were going to set it. What you don't want to do is suddenly just start setting because notice you do this and it's just on the ground. Again, if I did this, the Banshee would fly and hit the ground because it's going to go exactly where you place that. What you need to do is scroll down and you need to go to firing point height offset. You can, I don't know what the variance is for yet, but the height will determine how far off the ground it'll spawn. So if I set 10 and I highlight this and I click here, if I look up, you'll notice my new firing point is in the sky. This is about probably 10 feet into the air if I was, well, no, not 10 feet. I think it goes based off meters, so that's probably about 10 meters in the air, maybe. I can't remember the exact measurement, but that gives you kind of a general idea. So if I set 20, it's going to be up there, and that would actually be out of the map. But like 10 is a safe space for air vehicles but if you want them to fly close, you're going to have to test with them. Like this over here, I think is a 3. Yeah. Like the height of this is essentially a 3, and you can do a 3 point something if you wanted to. I just like to say solid numbers because it makes it easier. And then you assign to the vehicles the same way you would. So I have the way infinite air already in set. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And the way this looks, once again, it's the same thing. I highlighted these, controlled in, went to areas, highlighted Banshees, and made a vehicle area. But when I made the firing positions, I also went down here and adjusted the firing point height offset, depending on where I was at. And that's how I made it. So I hope this answers the questions for those of you how to make freaking AI vehicles, and so that they will work and run in your system. Other than that, if you can't get it working beyond this, I don't know if I can help you from that farther. I guess if you do have questions, I'll do my best to answer it. But this is how you would get working vehicles into your modding tutorial and whatnot. Now, if you guys did appreciate this modding tutorial very much, as I learn things, I will probably also do some tutorials on certain things that I learned how to do that other modding YouTubers aren't going over. But overall, I don't really want to steal from them. I'm a gaming channel. I like to game and do Halo content. And I just make mods for fun. I don't really do this for the fame of the tutorial. I just wanted to help out a couple people who really wanted this done. Anyway, I hope this helps y'all. If it did, leave a like button. If it didn't, hit the dislike. I'd like to know if it helped you out or not. Anyway, this is Nathaniel signing out.